Welcome to Dan in Real Life. This is the first episode. Long time coming, been wanting to do something solo by myself. I'm gonna have guests eventually, but today is gonna be solo, kind of introducing the show, what it's about, who am I. I'm a filmmaker. I grew up in Kansas, now I'm in Ohio, but that's another story for another episode. Today I'm going to talk about Jordan Peele's Nope, which just came out this weekend. Hopefully some of you guys have seen it. So if you're listening right now on Spotify or any of the podcast formats, I'm recording this on Callin, so hopefully we'll get some callers. So if you want to call into the show ever down the road, be sure to download the Callin app and follow Dan in Real Life or myself, Poly Pictures, on here. You can also find me another show I launched last night with my buddy Tim, which is called, I can't even remember what the name is. No, it's called Now It's Not a Good Time with Tim and Dan. And you can also find me on Twinflix on YouTube. Been on there a lot lately with Paul, who's been gracious enough to have me on his channel for some physical media talk. And we just launched a new show, Two Guys in a Movie. Tomorrow, actually, our second episode is going to drop on YouTube. We're going to talk about Kevin Smith's Red State from 2011. Deep dive from Two Guys in a Movie. So look out for that tomorrow around 10 a.m. Central on YouTube. So if you follow me, you'll see that. The links are all over. But it looks like Jordan Peele's Nope is doing good at the box office. Looks like it's going to have around 45 million stateside start. So I saw it. I saw it on Thursday. Went to a Thursday night afternoon. I think it was 4 p.m. And I had low expectations. So I saw Get Out, which is fantastic. I think that's still his best movie. And I didn't see Us. And I think the reason why I didn't see it, because it looked like it was going to scare the crap out of me. And I don't do well with scary movies. I've gotten a lot better the last couple of years. Like, I used to just not watch horror movies or any kind of graphic violence or horror or any kind of suspense. I wouldn't watch. But, now I've grown up, I guess I could say. Grown up, kind of expanded my horizons. Become more open to like Giallo stuff even, and Argento. I just watched Tenebrae today on 4K UHD, which is great transfer, great movie. So I skipped Us, and then I saw the teaser last year for Nope like everybody else, and it looked cool. Then I saw the first trailer probably about 100 times because I went to the movies a lot this past year, and I swear they played the first Nope trailer like over and over every time I went to the movies, which is cool. So it looked good. Went into it, low expectations. So, start out by saying I really enjoyed the first act. I thought Jordan Peele really set up suspense well. The way that he's framed shots. He's a hell of a director. There's no questioning that. No question that at all. And the performances were great. Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, Stephen Yen, Michael Wincott, Brandon Pereira, which I had never heard of. I'd never heard of Brandon Pereira until this movie. Keith David makes a nice appearance. And, if you don't know, the film follows like a ranch that does a lot of stunts for Hollywood. And things start happening. So Keith David, who plays the father of Daniel Kaluuya and Keke Palmer's characters, he ends up dying over strange circumstances, and he ends up getting like a coin lodged in his head. So yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, I'm gonna go into spoilers. So if you haven't seen the film, go see it. Or if you're cool with spoilers, keep listening. As much. Let me just say this. I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. I thought the first 40 minutes were quite good. Really good. really suspenseful, and then it fell off. It totally like deflated, which is a pun if you've seen the movie. It just turns into something else that the reveal didn't work. And so I guess the spoiler stuff's going to start now. Basically, the movie turns into Jaws in the clouds. So you've seen the trailer too. There's a UFO type ship in the air and it hides behind clouds. What that is essentially is a monster. And it sucks up anything from the ground that looks at it. But you have to be looking at it or in order for it to legally suck you up into it. For whatever reason, they don't explain that. But so yeah, the canyon where the ranch is, where they do the Hollywood stunts and have the horses and all that, where Otis or OJ. Actually, Otis is Keith David. Sorry, OJ and Emerald are siblings, and OJ's kind of taken over for his dad, and now because his dad passed away. So stuff happens and these horses start going missing, and Jordan Peele wrote in the script, wrote and directed, and he's got it broken down by different types of horses. All good. I'm good. I was totally cool, totally in with like the disappearing horses. There's even a cool, really awesome, scared the crap out of me, intense scene in the ranch house where OJ is walking through and it's completely dark. And Jordan Peele does a great job here of teasing and playing on expectations until a certain point. But this inside the rodeo ranch house, the lights keep flickering and stuff, and then you see these creatures. These creatures start showing up, and it turns out to be like some of the fairgrounds who work for Steven Yeun's character Ricky. He owns the carnival, Jupiter's Clam. So they end up being with him. So it's not aliens. It's nothing like that on the ground, which we think. But that whole sequence is great. I mean, I got to say, this movie, the shining moments for this movie, cinematography, sound design especially, and particularly the way that Jordan Peele directs the first half. I was on the edge of my seat until a certain moment. So then there's another thing. We start out with this talk show type thing where there's a chimpanzee and he's a part of this famous talk show, Gordy's Home. It's a sitcom. It's a fake sitcom in the show. And I love that. I love too that there was kind of like inside the business of Hollywood, sort of like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I got a little bit of vibes about that. You know, it's kind of behind the scenes of show business. You see OJ taking over the horse training and struggling because his horse Lucky goes out of control on an early set, and then they show, well, the director decides we'll just instead of having an actual horse on set, since it's been too much of a hassle for you, OJ, we're just gonna have a CGI horse. So they bring in like the green screen horse, which I thought was great. It was funny. So anyways, the cinematography, the sound design, the sets, it's all there in the first half. And then we get to the point where we see that the chimpanzee brutally had like this panic, or something triggered the chimpanzee when they celebrated Gordy's birthday on set with the whole cast and crew. They pull out balloons, and they show this on screen, and they pull out balloons, and Gordy goes nuts, bashing in their heads, bashing in their skulls, killing everybody on the set, except for Daniel Yen's character. So he's a child actor in this moment because it's back in 1998, around there, roundabout. And Steven Yeun, Ricky, Jupe Parker, he was a former child actor, and he creates the Jupiter's Claim. He hides under a table. So when Gordy's finished, and by the way, this scene is horrific. It's so well done. The sound of the balloons popping scared the shit out of me. I was just like, is this how the movie's going to be the whole way? Oh, man. So Gordy takes out the whole crew, cast and crew. It's all bloody. Then he comes over to Ricky under the table. And so there was a part early in the show that Ricky's has a shrine to the Gordy show, and he explains that their thing is that, like, when he's a kid, he would fist bump with Gordy, and that was like the first fist bump explosion. So now Ricky's under the table and Gordy's walking over, scared, and Gordy just gives him a fist bump, which is the shot we see in the trailer. And man, that's such an interesting scene. And it turns out that the Gordy stuff has nothing to do with the overall plot. It's just kind of a side story. And I wish he had chose to somehow incorporate Gordy or what was going on there into the bigger picture. Because it turns into Jaws in the Clouds. Cloud Jaws. A monster movie. Turns into a monster movie. And once OJ figures out that it's a monster, because that scene where Ricky invites everybody down to check out, it's like sort of like a fan event at Jupiter's Claim. So he has this fan event. He invites everybody down. He explains, in an hour, we're going to give up this horse, which happened to be Lucky, which is OJ's horse. We're going to give up this horse up to the aliens, up to the UFO, in an hour. Wrong. The UFO shows up and takes everybody up inside it. And OJ happens to witness this. And since everybody in the audience but OJ looked up at the thing in the sky, the UFO, OJ decides that you can't look at it. It's a monster. If it's territorial, we have invaded its territory, and it's been here for 6 weeks. The cloud hasn't moved. Then you bring in Michael Wincott, who's a famous cinematographer, and he was on the set prior in the movie. So they bring him in for to capture the impossible shot. And then there's another character, Angel, who works for Fry's Electronics. The stuff with Angel and the Fry's Electronics, setting up the cameras, and Keke Palmer, she's great in the movie as Emerald, and the dynamic she has with her brother OJ is great. And they set up the cameras with the Fry's guy trying to capture the UFO. That's all great. The problem I had was all the suspense, all the tension went away when it was revealed that it was just a big freaking monster in the sky that was territorial for no reason. And after that, I was like, okay, I can relax, and there's no more tension, there's no more scary. I'm not really that invested because I've seen Jaws, I've seen monster movies. They're probably going to figure out a way to get out of it, and they do. What ends up happening is they set up a smart plan. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it works for the movie as far as a plan. Like, you have those inflatable balloon type figures that blow into the air like car dealerships have. They set those up so when the monster comes, I think they call it, what do they call it? They call it like jean jacket or something. Let's see if I can find it. They call it something, but it's, they jean jacket. They jump it, jean jacket. So they set up the Haywood Ranch with a bunch of those inflatables around the whole park, so they know when the jean jacket shows up that because the power will go out, so they know the jean jacket's there, and those things, those balloons, have eyes on them, so the jean jacket will be attracted to them because it's looking at the big jean jacket monster and what have you. So smart plan. I didn't have the tension. Didn't have the tension once again, and it ends up Keke Palmer, Emerald, she goes up to the fairgrounds, and they don't explain, of course, that it's coming, but they don't explain that there's like an inflatable cowboy who's a character for the carnival, and they've put some sort of explosives in it, and she lets it go because they're trying to capture proof of this monster, and there happens to be like this water well that takes pictures. You wind it up, and the well below takes pictures up into the sky. So she times it right to where it takes a picture of the jean jacket monster just in time, just as it blows up, so that there's proof for when the cops show up or the FBI show up. There's proof that there is a UFO. And, the plan's successful. The monster, the jean jacket blows up, and it kind of looks like a deflation. And that's how I kind of felt about the movie. It kind of just deflated after Act 2. Midway through Act 2. I'm not quite sure. Probably, it might be I think it's midway through Act 2, because I felt like the second half of the movie I was just kind of sitting relaxed in my chair, and I don't think I should have been. I think I should have been still on the edge of my seats like I was for Act 1. But that's my thoughts. I still say go see it. Make up your own mind. And I'd like to know, if you guys took something out of it. I think Jordan Peele was going for how we're all kind of looking for the spectacle and looking up to the sky at the spectacle, at the big, everybody's looking up at trying to figure out, there's a lot of like, for example, there's a lot of superhero movies, we look up to the spectacle. Some commentary on spectacles is in here, a little bit of commentary there, but for me, the movie didn't work, and I wish it had. I wanted to like this movie a lot, because I heard a lot of things that it's a masterpiece. The early reviews were like, it was like 100% Rotten Tomatoes. Now I think it's in the 80s, but I think it's going to make a lot of money, and I think Jordan Peele, he definitely should make another movie. I'm not saying he shouldn't, but this one just didn't work for me, guys. I'm really curious. I want to know from somebody that it did work for. I want to know what you guys thought. So feel free to like this first episode and leave some comments. Unfortunately, nobody's in here nobody wants to call me. But anyway, we'll do it again, and I look forward to having more movie talk with you guys and just life talk in general, since I am a filmmaker. So this podcast is going to be a bit of everything: TV, movies. I'll have some guests on, talk some sports, talk some TV shows, storytelling, comedy. A lot of fun ahead. So I appreciate you guys listening. I know this is going to be a shorter one, but this is my spoiler review of Jordan Peele's Nope. Hope you guys enjoyed.